All right, we are back here with Refrigerator Diaries. Hashtag, what's your RD keeping the people engaged? If you got a story to tell us, let us know about it. If you got videos or music that you want to share, holler at us. If you got a topic, we want to know it. Please let people know what's going on in your diary. We're just kicking it here with Tracy Garley from Zark Buzz and Culture in a Bowl, discussing Detroit, the food analytics, the food politics scene, and a couple things like that here. We're going to keep it light. Tracy, a few folks want to know, what's your favorite wine? What are you drinking?
So lately, I've been drinking a little bit of red wine, like Merlot, and sometimes some rosé.
Okay, Merlot, Rosé. I'm not mad at it. Both mean it's time to play. I'm with it. I rap every now and then, just so you guys know. I can come up with rhymes very, very easily. And what's your favorite cuisine to cook?
So I love my collard greens. So the collard greens with the cornbread, it's like my favorite. And I think I've perfected it so much that I can cook it in less than like 2.5 hours. But mostly collard greens take like 4 to 6 hours.
It's that real right there. That's how you know.
So I love collard greens, and now also I like trying different things now. So like beets, I like cooking beets with a lot of fish.
Okay, beets and fish. Does it stain the fish?
No. So I put it on the side. And
okay. Like a decorative thing.
Yes.
Are they pickled or just normal?
I saute
Okay,
it with
you
like
put a little-
onions.
Okay.
And then make the fish with like maybe bell peppers and bake it.
I'm gonna come over and try this out. We'll make sure it's safe to eat. It's gonna be excellent. I haven't had a bad thing from you yet.
Thank you. That's a compliment.
So who you out there? Is there a chef you admire the most? Who and why?
Honestly, the chef that I do admire right now, and I still will be my aunt.
Phyllis.
I'm Phyllis, and you'll be surprised. It will be actually Godwin. It will be you.
No, we can't.
No, for real. I don't even admire you because your cooking is just your work ethic. Like your numbers, how you go about with your numbers when you applying it with your business and what you try to get. That's one thing I admire you on that side of business, because I think people don't talk about the numbers when you want to start a business. If you want to do a pop-up or you want to do a storefront. And since I've been knowing you as a younger sister, I admire that side of business about you. It's like you're on it, and I think people need to know about that.
I agree. Let that be a lesson to you all. If you got friends in your life, that don't want to talk to you about money and finances, get new friends. You got friends that you see a text message to, they hit you back in a week. It might not work out.
Take notes. Take notes.
It's going to be a tough friend to have when you got an emergency. Just saying. So let's jump back into what's happening in the city of Detroit here. A lot of cool things going on right now. We're seeing a lot of new restaurants opening up.
Yes.
Have you eaten out at any restaurants lately?
I actually went to the new restaurant in the Shanola Hotel called the Evening Bar, or is it the Evening Room?
Oh, you know what? We'll just say a new restaurant in Shanola Hotel. I can't say I've been up in there yet.
I did go in there. I love the design and the atmosphere was awesome. What did I have? I had the crab cakes, I think.
Okay.
Honestly, I would say I had better, so I wasn't too impressed by that. But the drinks was good. The atmosphere was great. And I think I had something else. So if I can't remember what I had, that's the problem. Okay. And that's just me being real. But I loved everything else about it. So
ambiance, and I hear you had a celebrity in the room there too.
Where at the?
Yeah.
I think we walked past Dan Gilbert. We was walking past the Shanola. What's that restaurant that was down there?
Yeah, I think it's like San. So there's the San Modello, I think, in Morello, which is like the Italian restaurant. That's
I think that was the restaurant we walked past. So he was in the restaurant.
Okay, kicking it in the lounge here. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so that's good. A good compliment. I've yet to eat there. I'm definitely gonna put it on my list here. One of the things that's been near and dear to a lot of our hearts, especially mine, because I work with a lot of people. You know, my mother works with the neighborhood service organization, so is very, very much involved in just working with the disenfranchised population here. So, of note, you know, right now, the jobs report came out
Mm-hmm.
showing that we've got more jobs inside the United States this year. It was a positive uptick in the jobs report,
Mm-hmm.
which is great news considering that a lot of companies have just recently made reports that they're going to be laying off quite a few folks. So convenient that it came out after the jobs report hit, but we'll save that for another time.
Right.
What I definitely want to touch base on is the top growing sector in a lot of these jobs reports. So consistently for the past 4 years now,
Mm-hmm.
the top one or two industry, usually it interchanges, has been service and then food and hospitality. So one of the largest industries in the entire country is also one of the fastest growing industries. By the time we get to 2025,
Mm-hmm.
at least one of two people will have worked inside a food establishment within their lifetime.
I believe it.
It's insane. To put that into perspective, if we go back to the times of the World War, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Second World War, and you can go ahead and look this up. Don't quote me on it. Check your stats. You know, I'm not an encyclopedia. Um, 1 in 14 people had a degree of separation. So either they knew somebody or they knew somebody who knew somebody that was inside the military. Whereas like right now, I think it's like 1 in like 30 or something like that. So a lot of people were very, very familiar with the things that were happening within in the industry. And so thinking on that, you know, World War II is huge. And now we like fast forward to the restaurant industry, 1 and 2. That means that anybody you talk to will be able to relate in some aspect, shape, form, or way into working in a restaurant, establishing themselves in the restaurant. And we all know people got to eat, you know, schools, elderly right now, but the wages are just remaining stagnant. You know, in fact, one of the most recent battles with our wage battle here in Michigan kept the wages at $12 an hour over the course of 2030. So it's going to be 2030 before we get those wages up. What's your take on that? Do you think that we should go another system? Do you think that it's a perspective that people aren't seeing? You know, bills cost money. Maybe people should get paid a lower wage. And what's your take?
Honestly, that's really like a really touchy subject for me because I sit on the board with the city of Detroit and the 3 casinos. And our main issues is talking about keeping Detroit residents employed with the 3 casinos and also making them live in Detroit. But it's also with the restaurant industry. It's like coming to Detroit and even in Michigan, the training, people need to have better training and better pay if you want these people to work in your restaurant. And you also need to make them feel welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in restaurant when I was in college. And the quote that you just said about, was it 2 out of 5?
And the restaurant industry?
Yeah, working.
1 out of 2.
1 out of 2. So I worked in the restaurant industry when I was younger in college, and the pay was, of course, terrible. But I worked so many hours and wanted to be there for the company, and it's like we have to give better pay for these people to come and work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it all goes about, like you said, you having your restaurant and creating something for our residents to be employed would be something better, but we need better pay. And it's like, how much are we willing to pay our employee? We won't even call them employees. We'll call them our family, because if you want these people to work with you, you're telling them your recipe or you're seeing them every day. that becomes a relationship. It's not just, oh, you work for me or you my employee.
All right.
So I think first to start with having the ownership of welcoming people as family and friends, not just, oh, you work for me.
Okay. All right. So you're not cracking whips on anybody.
No.
No whip cracking. You know, Tracy Garley is a benevolent one and not a benevolent dictator either. She is a benevolent employer. Right?
I would say so. Yes, I would say so.
So one more question here, and then I'll kind of turn it over for you to make any last minute announcements you want to get out there about Culture in the Bowl and Zarkbus here. I remember when you originally were moving the Zarkbus store on Woodward, mainly because it was across the street from an all-girls school. It was very near and dear to you to identify with being a role model for young and up-and-coming women, to see a person of color in the city of Detroit, primarily black city, and also a woman opening a restaurant and being an entrepreneur, getting a storefront right on Woodward. Are you going to be keeping that same kind of focus on ideals and mission with Culture in a Bowl?
Yes, but it's still going to be different. This is food and fashion, but it's still the same. And I'm going to be keeping that because I think that's my personality. I'm always so eager to show people my culture or let them know where I'm from. And cooking is something I love to do. So it's like, oh, perfect. I get to also do this not to just young girls, but to the whole family, the mom, the dad, the cousin, the auntie, the uncle, because everybody got to eat, right?
Everybody's got to eat.
So
everybody's got to eat, yeah.
So I think with Zarkbus starting off with that, it actually just expanded my vision and expanded everything else, not just for me, but for everybody else around me.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So how do we order from Culture in the Bowl?
So you can go on cultureinthebowl.com. Our Grubhub and Uber Eats, we're working on that. So within the next 2 weeks. Coming soon. But you can also go on cultureinthebowl.com. Also, directly from Instagram, you can go on there at Culture in the Bowl on Instagram. Facebook is Culture in the Bowl. So everything is Culture in the Bowl, simple to the point.
Simple to the point. And you can get your orders on the website. You can also go to the Facebook and also on the Instagram, put your orders in and do in-store pickup right at 6500 Woodward.
Yes, in-store pickup 6500 Woodward, and I'm excited. We are in Yum Village. So we're also going to be hosting unique events every month at the end of the month for Culture in the Bowl at Yum Village. And we want to introduce just different dishes to people from our culture. So if you like the fufu or the jollof rice or even the fried plantains, this is definitely the place you need to come and check out.
Cool. And before we close out, one of the things that I think it is important is, and staying to the cause of it being Black History Month, I'm sure you've got a Black History Month message as well. Go ahead and get that out there.
Yes, we do have a Black History Month dinner that's coming up. It's called the Feast. It's called the Black History Month Feast. And it's going to be featuring Yum Village and Culture in the Bowl. So we're going to be just not introducing, but actually telling people how soul food started with just African food mixed up with the soul food.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, some of the first and earliest iterations of fried chicken were a couple of we don't use the term slave anymore. I'm so over that. I'm tired of the movies. Stop making the movies. We don't want to see black people in slavery.
So that's why we got the food now. So come taste the food. Don't talk about the movie. Just go through with the fashion, food, music, and experience.
Absolutely. And before we close off, just so all the young little girls and all the young little women out there listening to us who are in a position where they want to know what to do with their next step. Have you worked in a corporate job before?
No, I have none actually.
Okay, so you just went straight to entrepreneurship out of college?
From college. I started my business in college.
Okay.
When I was a sophomore, my mom started a company. So from right after college, I graduated. I went straight to running the company.
Okay. Tracy, give us a quotable for following your dreams on entrepreneurship.
if you can, I was like, let me think about it before I say it. Honestly, one of my favorite quote is, "Nothing is impossible with God. Anything is impossible with God. Anything is possible with God." Excuse me.
Anything is possible with God. So there you have it. Tracy Garley, Culture in the Bowl.
City girls, big dreams.
City Girl, Big Dreams, Zarek Buzz. Definitely check it out all online. We'll be posting out that newsletter as well. Be sure to check that out. If you're not on the mailing list, you can sign up both at yumvillage.com or at Refrigerator Diaries. And again, if you know somebody you want to see them on the show here, see what they are about, or if you want to see someone's refrigerator, they don't have to be food. If you got somebody that you're trying to holler at, you want to use it as a pickup line, go ahead and let them know. We do refrigerator shots as long as they can talk about the food. Just kidding. Got to be serious. Hashtag what's your RD? Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys on the next episode.